Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Caleb, and this is the start of a new weekly series covering tech, app development, entrepreneurship, and lifestyle. So I'm going to be sharing my experience as an independent software developer. So we're going to be talking about everything from app design, app creation, marketing, and monetization. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about some of the challenges I faced becoming a full-time YouTuber and independent software developer. How's that? Fab. Specifically, how I came to the decision to leave IBM and start doing my own thing, and what steps were required to make that possible. Each week, we're going to have a discussion topic where I answer questions from you guys, as well as get answers from other creators, developers, and professionals. This week, I reached out to Beau Carnes, who manages the freeCodeCamp YouTube channel, to ask him what gets him excited about tech and his favorite thing about managing the channel. freeCodeCamp is one of the best resources out there for newbies to learn how to code and start their career as a software engineer. Beau Carnes has put an enormous amount of effort to bring the freeCodeCamp YouTube channel to nearly 1.2 million subscribers. This makes freeCodeCamp the most popular software channel that actively posts content on software development. Not only does Beau post content of his own, but one of the key ingredients to the success of the YouTube channel is that he takes collaborations from other creators. So anyone with a little bit of practice can create videos to be posted on the freeCodeCamp YouTube channel, including me. So this is a brand new series. I'm not entirely 100% sure where the content will go in the future, but I'd love to have you along for the ride and get your feedback. So do me a favor and hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so you can get notified when new episodes come out. And with that, let's get started. All this reading is making me sick. Are you tired of reading textbooks? Maybe you should try Pluralsight. But I'm already seeing double. No, not that kind of Pluralsight. I'm talking about this kind of Pluralsight, where you can watch courses of all different types. Try courses in Python, JavaScript, Java, C#, web development, and mobile development. Best of all, you can get started completely for free. I feel so much better now. There's no known correlation between eyesight and the use of Pluralsight. Side effects may include learning to code, having a better life, and getting a job as a software engineer. Link in the description. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome.
Wait, no, I look stupid.
You don't look stupid. I look stupid.
No, it's just like...
Hey, welcome everybody to a new series I am starting here on this YouTube channel. We're going to be talking about software development, entrepreneurship, and currently we have a special guest, Erin. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Erin Curry. I am Caleb's wife.
You're not supposed to say that part.
That's about it.
I'm just playing. So, what are we going to be doing in this series? Well, I've created basically a ton of tutorials. And this is great, but this is becoming a very saturated market. And I'm looking for a new way to connect with my audience at a more personal level, basically talking about how can we take this information and apply it to developing real-world applications, monetizing that, and basically mixing software development and entrepreneurship. And Erin is here. What's your purpose? I mean, you have lots of purposes, but like, what's your... Go ahead.
What's my purpose for this? Well, I am going to be the one that's going to be gathering questions. I'm going to be reading comments, kind of like helping the video flow, because Caleb will kind of get off track. But so I'm going to just be the person that kind of like you guys are talking to, and then I'm kind of like the middleman, and then I'm going to give that to Caleb.
Middle woman. So yeah, that's kind of my role in this series, and I'm also just gonna be sitting here and kind of just adding to the conversation. You're really going to be the driving force getting through the content.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so the very first thing, what is this episode going to be about? We're going to be talking about how I left a pretty swanky job at IBM. So the story is I moved across the country and took a job at IBM. I did some videos about it, and I got a lot of mixed feedback, good and bad. So I'm just going to talk about that in a little bit more detail at a more personal level now that we're in this show style. So do you remember when I left my job at IBM?
Why you did?
No, do you remember when?
When? Like the date?
Do you remember the experience?
Yes. I mean, it was kind of a big experience.
So can you explain how it made you feel?
Oh boy. I didn't know I was going to be getting asked questions, so I was not prepared for this. Well, we kind of started talking about, you know, possibly leaving IBM and kind of starting a new adventure for like a while. Like it was a long time. Like it wasn't just like one day we woke up and we were like, yes, today is the day. It was more like we started talking about it for like, we talked about it for maybe like 5 months. It was like a long process. It wasn't just like, we're gonna do it. So it wasn't like so sudden that I was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? Because it was gradual, it was kind of more exciting to be like, okay, we've decided to take this next step in our life. I think it was exciting. Like, I was kind of nervous. I mean, we're not getting paid nearly as much as we were. So that part was a little bit scary, but I was also just really excited because we've been working so long at this and we were just so ready to just be like, we're going to go dive in and do this full time.
So I released a video on why I left IBM. And I don't know if I didn't clearly explain myself or if people just make it a point to put negative comments on videos.
Which is just how it is on YouTube. People are always going to be negative.
But essentially, anytime you take a job, whether it's a big job at IBM or Google, Microsoft, Amazon, or if it's a startup or even just, a part-time development job, whatever it is, you are trading your capabilities, your work for money. And your time is being traded for money as well. So you have to basically look at that and see if it's worth the amount you're getting paid, and if it's worth giving up your time. And this whole concept is known as an opportunity cost. Anytime you take anything in life, there's other things you can't take. So you can do a lot in life, but you can't do everything. So the big motivation for me behind leaving IBM was there was creative endeavors that I wanted to pursue that were not realistically possible while at IBM.
So kind of like back on what you're talking about, how like when you get a job, you're trading your time for money. Like during that time, we were not making videos like at all. Like we made a couple, but like the whole year that we were at IBM, it was just like, all of our time was for IBM. Like it wasn't for anything else. It was just like IBM, come home from work, sleep.
Yeah. And
we didn't do YouTube at all.
Yeah, the experience there was good. I could see, if I wanted a nice job that I could work at for my life and retire, I think that would be a great place to do it. And I've still maintained relationships with a lot of people at IBM, and they even see my perspective and they agree on my decision. But the issue was that I couldn't do IBM and the other stuff that I wanted to do. That was ultimately the reason behind the decision. And on top of that, moving across the country, that was very traumatic. I know a lot of people will be like a digital nomad, just traveling wherever and living wherever.
It's not really our style.
Yeah, it's not our style. I've lived in the same location my entire life.
Family oriented, very extremely.
Moving across the country like 1,000+ miles.
Yeah.
It was an adventure, and it was a step I knew I needed to take to realize that I was capable of doing that. But it didn't take long for me to realize that it really wasn't my place.
Yeah.
But if I didn't take it, I never would have known.
Exactly.
And probably the rest of my life, I would have been like, oh, what could have been.
Yeah, like we're so glad that we like took the opportunity, and like so many people like have been saying like, well, why did you even go? Like you were only there for a year. Like you really like. I mean, it was just so dumb. Like, why'd you even take it if you knew that YouTube was your passion? And, that kind of thing, just being kind of negative about it. And it's like, well, first of all, we just wanted to see what it was going to be like. So we're glad that we did it. And now we kind of realize that, yes, YouTube is what we want to do.
Yeah.
Like,
and the position was in Austin, Texas, which is a very cool city. So really cool. I saw it as a great opportunity to try something new. And it wasn't a year wasted. No. In that time, I learned a lot of skills. I learned how to socialize in that setting, which I'm not exactly the most good at socializing and reading people. I don't know if I ever did get better, but over time, I felt like I developed skills that have been invaluable to me now that I'm doing my own thing here on YouTube full time as of this year. So now there is one other thing. There was kind of a transition phase where I was basically planning to leave IBM, and we didn't really have a plan, but fortunately there was a job opportunity that did come up that was a lot more flexible. So this was a work from home software engineering position. I ended up taking that and doing that for 2 or 3 months I don't remember exactly how long, but that allowed me to not traumatize our lives again. So it was more of a transition, going from a in-person job to like an at-home, a little bit less paying, more flexible software position. Then from that, going into full-time content creator. And during those months where I was doing the software development, I was lining stuff up on YouTube with sponsorships and working with a very great company that I would love to share with you guys, and I might be able to get them in to talk with you guys in the future. But that's all you guys really need to know for that for now. Basically making the steps necessary to have YouTube be a success, rather than just being like, hey, I just quit my job, let's figure out how to make YouTube work, because YouTube takes a long time to build up, and it's not just something that works overnight, at least not for the majority of people.
So that actually is a good
transition
into what I wanted to talk about next. I could not remember the word yet. But we kind of wanted to like read some comments from the video that Caleb recently did of why I left my job at IBM, and of course we had mixed comments of like, why would you do this? Like, what are you doing, you dummy? And people like, yes, chase your passion, like you're making a good decision. So, you were kind of just talking about how it takes a while to get YouTube to start running and stuff. Not everybody can just become an overnight success. While it's great, some people do really well really fast. That's not always the case. So you had a subscriber that says you are one of the oldest channels that he has been following.
Oh.
And but he says that you haven't grown very much in the last 10 years. Well, he said not at all. You haven't grown at all, which is not really the case in the last 10 years.
Grown this way.
But compared to others. And he said find a workaround. So do you just want to comment on that?
Ultimately, I agree with him.
I would also agree that we haven't grown as much as some other people.
But relatively,
yeah,
my channel has been a very upward battle to grow as I would like.
That is also because we haven't had the opportunity to work on it full time.
And that's exactly going back to what we were just talking about.
For the last 10 years that you've had your channel, it's been, I'm going to make videos consistently, and then it's like, not at all. And then I'm going to make videos consistently and not at all. Yeah. It's because he would get a job, and we would have time, and then he would get a job, and then it was just kind of like all over the place, so...
Yeah, and I think it has a lot to do with the time frame, right? So if you think of the last 10 years, and I've been doing this channel probably almost 10 years, which is almost insane.
It's crazy.
I'm in my early 20s. 10 years ago, I was just becoming a teenager.
Yeah.
The amount of changes, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, just where you live and what you're going through is a lot.
Yeah.
In that time frame, I graduated, maybe even middle school, I don't know, high school, graduated high school, did some post-secondary work. I went to college trying to figure out what to do with my life, and went into something
and
I wasn't interested in.
You weren't in the position to do YouTube full time.
Yeah.
You were still going through school. You were like, what, 15 or something like that? I don't know. You were young.
Yeah, and people are treating me as if I've been working on this full time.
Yes, for the last 10 years.
For the last 10 years.
That's not the case. That's not the case.
In addition to just graduating high school and going to college, I fell in love and got married. We moved across the country, and I've worked like a million different jobs in that time frame. So I think we're finally now in a situation where it's realistic to commit to doing something on a regular basis. Like this show, this is going to be, right now I'm doing it every Tuesday. And that's something I'm going to do my best to never miss. I think we're in a better time in our life where that's more realistic and more possible. So that's part of the reason. And the other part of the reason is, honestly, my niche is very competitive right now, and also I can't think of any other excuses, honestly. There are people on YouTube that create exceptional content that I'm competing with, and when you compare the two, I would just say, there's a lot of work that I need to do to compete with them, and we're going to be showing you an example of a really great channel on YouTube that deep down inside I'm competing with them, and I've been open about that with them, but we'll hear from them soon, and that's freeCodeCamp.
But that was a good conversation, like why we haven't grown and stuff. and why you quit IBM so that you can grow. And we have seen much growth. Just the last, I don't know really how long we've been doing it full time now.
About half a year.
About a half a year. We've seen a lot of growth, and it's really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to, like, give numbers or anything. You don't have to do prices.
I hit 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah, so it was huge. And we were in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Throw that into context. We were on a cruise.
When we found out.
And that's not a small feat. I mean, not to brag or anything. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. But in reality, getting 100,000 subscribers is a huge achievement. It's not all about the numbers, but it is very important to me. So I'm glad to have reached that. But next goal is 1 million.
Yeah. Okay, so I do have, it's a comment, but we can turn it kind of into a question. So this person says, it's nice to see that you found your path. In my opinion, that's the hardest thing about IT in general. So it's hard to find your path in IT. Like, if you want to have a job, if you want to make money online, that kind of thing.
So it is one of the hardest things, but I would also say that's a pro.
Yeah.
In that there's so much flexibility in the type of work you do, because software development is heavily tied into every industry. So whether you're interested in biology or you're interested in engineering or farming, there's a place for computer programming, there's a place for developing apps. So that's a good thing, but it's also a challenge because a lot of people are having a hard time finding their place, whether they want to work full-time or work in person, or if they want to do something more from home as a self-employed software developer or an online content creator.
So that kind of leads to the next question. Matt Clark would like to know how long you were at IBM, which we kind of talked about. It's about a year.
A little over a year.
A little over, yeah, because you did work remote for a little bit. And he says that he's facing a similar decision of trying to know if he should leave his job, what path to take, and says learning how to adult, right? Yeah, learning how to adult,
it stinks.
It's really hard.
How am I supposed to know how to pay bills and stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know, they just expect you to know this stuff.
So, what would your advice be to Matt? Because he says he's facing a similar decision.
All right. So, ultimately, that decision is yours. I don't want to take responsibility for that.
Everybody's life is different.
Everybody's life is
different. So hard
to
say.
I don't know anything about you.
Yeah.
What are your interests? Are you 16? Are you 25? Are you 60? That makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Do you have a family? Do you have kids? We're in a situation where leaving was not the end of the world. I looked at what is everything I could lose. I knew I wasn't going to lose her. She's not going to leave me just for quitting IBM. I sure hope not. So I looked at everything I could possibly lose, and I realized, heck, if I lost it all, I'm really not that far off from where I was. So
yeah, I mean, it just kind of depends.
When we look at just possessions, they're just stuff, right? It's not. I wasn't at risk of losing everything I owned because I knew that I could easily get back into that situation, which is why I personally finished my undergrad degree, thanks to the pressure from you and my mom, because that was kind of like my net, knowing that if I leave this job and things go south, it's not going to take a whole lot of effort to get back to where I was.
Yeah.
As for your situation, whether you should leave a job and follow a similar path to me, that's something you need to plan up front in advance. It's not something you can just leave and say, hey, I'm going to start my own thing, unless you have a ton of savings.
Yeah, I want to say, you want to make sure you have some money saved up, which we really didn't have, and it would have been so amazing. If you're married, your wife might be freaking out. Oh my word, he's going to quit his job. We're going to have $0. It would be so great to just have some savings and then be like, okay, I'm able to quit now and start doing whatever you want to do full time. I would say it's definitely a good thing. And I know a lot of people say that, and it's kind of oh, but I don't want to.
Yeah, in our situation, we didn't really have months of savings in the bank, but what I did have was sponsorship deals already sold.
So that was kind of our way of savings or whatever.
Yeah, I answered the question, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was if you're in a similar situation.
Yeah, so
if you have more questions, Matt, if you want to maybe give us more info, maybe we can answer it in the next episode. This person he says he's unemployed. Tell me how to make my career. I don't know if you want to talk about that because he doesn't really say.
Yeah, if you want to build your
anything
career,
else.
I mean, that's a really vague question, but ultimately it's all about building a portfolio. So my YouTube channel is like my get in job free card, essentially, because I can show people, hey, this is what I know, this is what I have experience in. Resumes are kind of old-fashioned, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of leads to, we've also had a lot of negativity from older people that we've been going to like this full-time YouTube thing, and they're just kind of like, you don't have a job? Like,
they're like, what do you actually do?
Like, we get a lot of people like, hey, have you had any interviews? Like, are you trying to get a job? It's like, no, we're still doing the YouTube thing. And it's just kind of like, the older generation doesn't really get it.
Yeah, like, not to group people by ages, but I mean, in general, like family members and people that we know that are before the internet age.
Yeah, because I mean, making money online is fairly new, so it's like still kind of like, what are you doing with your life?
I can literally explain exactly what I do, and they're like, so what do you do?
It's kind of funny, but anyway, did you answer the question?
Yeah, build a portfolio.
Okay. Yep.
Learn stuff. You know, I am partnered with different companies that help you learn how to code. There's Pluralsight. That's a great way to follow all kinds of courses. And there's Pramp is an awesome one for interview practice.
Brian says, great, now you can do some cool stuff now.
Thank you. I'm glad my first 1,000 videos weren't good enough for you.
Ultra Cisco wants to know if we have kids.
Actually,
we
do.
have 3 kids.
Let me go grab them.
Am I supposed to like talk?
No, you can.
You want me to scooch over? She's like, what are you doing?
This is my baby.
This is our first kid.
She's the oldest.
Hi, Tinku.
Her name's Kava.
This is Kavi. She's a little over a year.
She's a wild one.
She doesn't like being cuddled, really. Oh, and here's our second child. So this is Chia. He's one of the newest members of the family. He's about 4 months. And he's really loving this.
I'll go find the demon child.
And then we have one demon child.
No.
What is that? This is Chip.
Short for Chipotle, my favorite restaurant of all time.
And he is our demon child. And he is a little bit over 4 months.
All right, so that's the end of our informational conversation.
So now we have a video to share with you guys. It is from Beau Carnes from freeCodeCamp, and I'm looking at him because I'm trying to get the name right. But we're really excited to share this video with you guys today, and it's his take on
essentially the flexibility of software development and how you can easily start creating content and building your resume. There's no excuses. So thank you, Beau, for sending this in. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Beau Carnes with freeCodeCamp.org, and I wanted to talk to you about what I like so much about coding and software development and what gets me so excited about tech and coding. The main thing is really just the flexibility it offers you. There's so many different jobs that you can get when you know software development and coding. You can work for a company, you can work for yourself, you can build your own business. There's full-time jobs, part-time jobs, remote jobs, and just when you know how to code, it just gives you so much flexibility as far as like what you want to do. And there's so many different types of jobs, so you're never going to really get bored. There's always new problems to solve and new interesting things to do. And one thing that I'm also excited about, I run the freeCodeCamp.org YouTube channel, and we surpassed 1 million subscribers. So I'm just super thankful to everyone that has subscribed to the channel, and I'm also super thankful to the people that have volunteered to contribute courses and tutorials to the channel. We have a bunch of great content on the channel, and it's all thanks to volunteers and people that contribute that content. And it's so great to see all the different teaching styles. There's so many people out there in the world, and everyone has a slightly different learning style. People kind of learn best from different people. So in my opinion, everyone can be a great teacher for a certain type of audience. So no matter like how much experience you have teaching, or what you like, how good you are as a software developer, I think there's a place for everybody to be able to make videos to teach other people. So really anybody can create a software tutorial video, and there's going to be someone out there that can learn from your unique teaching style. So it's been great with managing the freeCodeCamp YouTube channel to see the styles of so many different teachers and see how they can connect with different types of students, and just reading the comments on the videos. Just people are so appreciative of anybody that's willing to just put out content and help teach others. So it's just great to see.
Hopefully you guys liked that video. And fortunately, Beau exposed all of his secret sauce in a very complete article on how to start your own software YouTube channel. So I'm going to be using his trade secrets to surpass his channel. Hopefully you guys are ready for the challenge, because I'm coming at you. So that article, oh my God, you be quiet. So the resource for this week is that article. I would encourage you guys to read through it. And if you haven't started creating content, it doesn't have to be YouTube videos. It can be blogs. It can be open source projects, podcasts, whatever you want. I just encourage you to take a step extra to be a little creative and entrepreneurially, what's the word?
I don't know, I like that though.
Entrepreneurially in the software development that you do.
Entrepreneurshipy.
So yeah, check that out. I'll leave the link to that in the description. And yeah, the only other thing I wanted to talk about is building on that article. The main thing that I'm doing to build my channel to, of course, compete with freeCodeCamp, which I'm not that far off. They only got like way more subscribers than me. But the main thing here is that this weekly content, something more consistent, that people come back every week. And in order for me to do that, there has to be an interactive component where I'm talking to you guys and you guys are talking to me. So be sure to subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to be posting stuff in the community section of YouTube. So if you want to answer questions I post, or if you want to ask questions, that's the place for you to do it. Also, make sure you get notifications from this channel, so when we create a new one, you get notified. So this will be coming out every Tuesday. There may still be other content coming out throughout the week. I'm not completely abandoning tutorials. That's an essential part of this channel, but I'm going to be approaching my content in a more professional, consistent, practical way. So this is the first step in that. So let me know what you guys think, if you like the direction we're going.
Entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Tell us this is like a story. Make it a story.
Was that necessary? So we have a question that we are going to ask in this video for next week's video. So the question this week is, when have you ever been burnt out from tech or entrepreneurship? Share your story, Claire. Share your story with us, and we can share those stories in the next video. Or if you have questions for Caleb about that line of content, you can also post questions below and we will try to get to them.
All right, yeah, that's all we got for you guys in this video. So thank you for watching, and
subscribe.
I was looking for peace out.
Oh.
That'll do.
Do it again.
And
peace out.
and subscribe. And you gotta walk off the frame. That's what we always do.
Okay. Can I roll? Oh, I'm stuck. I can't get out. Alright, I'll just fold.
If you've enjoyed this content, do me a favor, subscribe and hit that notification button. This means the world to me, and it will allow you to be notified when new episodes come out. This week's discussion question is to tell us a story about a time you had burnout, and maybe give us some tips on what you did to fix that, or how you could have prevented that. So thank you guys, stay tuned for the next episode, and I'll see you then.